Is Kogai or Grasshopper Curse good? Short answer, he's decent. Long answer, well, that's the rest of this video. Kogai, named Locust guy in-game, is the newest character to be added, and he has only his base moveset. Enough time has passed that I can say his standing in terms of strength can be fairly evaluated, and I'll keep this video brief since it's more so my thoughts on the character and general observations of mine, rather than a full-on guide to using him. I won't go too in-depth on his moves, and more so talk about how good or bad they are, since of how long the update's been out. I'd assume you know how his moveset works. Mainly, I want to focus on how strong they are, as well as how strong his moveset in general is, and how it fares against other characters in the game. Before we start though, make sure to subscribe if you want to be notified of any other JJS updates or information. Now, let's get into the video. Locust guy has 85 HP, something I honestly don't know the reason for, considering his moveset isn't nearly good enough in my opinion to justify that limitation. Whereas Megumi and Yuji are both able to pull off some insane crap that absolutely does justify it. What do I mean by that? Well, his neutral game, again, unlike Megumi and Yuji, is very lacking. His first three moves are all awful for neutral, and while his R special isn't terrible if you're using it right, since it can gap close for a punish in some very niche scenarios, none of them even come close to what Megumi, Yuji, or really any other character in the game have to offer. Clever is a good combo tool for sure, but in neutral it's pretty easy to block if your opponent isn't awful at the game, and if it does get blocked, hoo boy, you're eating a full combo. Black Mucus isn't actually all that bad, but it's nothing too stand out. It's basically just reserve balls, except that you're rewarded a bit more for landing it, and I still wouldn't recommend using it in neutral all that much, since it's a lot easier and more consistent to just combo into the thing. As for Snapping Jaws, quite literally the exact same case as Clever. The hitbox is great, sure, but if it gets blocked, you're eating a full combo, and again, it is not hard to block at all, just like Clever. That leaves Wing Throw, which is functionally the same as Rapid Punches, as his only move that's decent for neutral, since it's a low startup guard break that with the R special, can set up some nice combos. It's a good move for sure, but that's all it really is, a decent guard break. It's mediocre in a sense, since pretty much everyone, save for a few characters, have this kind of thing too. Yuji has aerial curse strikes, Gojo obviously has rapid punches, and Todo has swift kicks. All that is to say that Kogai is just really unremarkable if you're looking at him solely from a strength standpoint. 85 HP, but he has none of these things that make Yuji or Megumi good characters. Honestly, he's way more comparable to Hikari, but without 100 HP or the insanely short cooldowns. He's a combo character, with his only big saving grace being his ability to do decently strong combos, and in some teamfight situations, debuff people with Black Mucus, though that doesn't have much if any bearing on ranked, and by no means is it enough to make up these weaknesses. When Yuji has his mobility, plus high damage, plus more damage from passives, plus Manji Kick, plus Black Flash Chaining, plus aerial curse strikes, and Megumi has Divine Dogs to make him untouchable if used right, plus this bullshit. Oh my god, I'm glad nobody knows how to properly use Megumi. Kogai has a pretty good combo. One that also relies on baiting Ragdoll Cancel. Yeah. Objectively speaking, disregarding any fun or unique mechanics, and focusing solely on numbers plus functionality, Kogai kind of sucks. He's really balanced compared to everyone else, but that means he's not a good character. But you know what? Who cares? Because remember, it's a casual game. Not a competitive one, and nobody's holding a gun to your head to tell you to use Kogai. He really is the only character in the game that nobody who knows the game well would call the best, but he's still enjoyable. The whole air combo system is fun to use simply because it looks cool, and a lot of his combos feel satisfying to land. Wins also feel pretty good with him, at least for me, because he's just kind of strength-wise, and all of those weaknesses usually aren't going to be that big of a deal unless you go up against an equally good player who can M1 you back and understands the counterplay, which, in casual ranked at the very least, where I got my background footage, ain't too common. On the flip side of things, if you're struggling against Kogai and think he's overpowered, that's a legitimate skill issue, but I won't just say that without giving you some advice. If you're struggling with the moves, literally just block, and the mere threat of you knowing how to block means they can't do anything besides 4, since using the 1 and 3 moves will get them punished. From that point onward, it's basically just core gameplay mechanics and not getting hit by the 4 move, which comes down to some prediction and just being good at the game. Also, fighting and using Hikari is a pretty good way to get better at the core game mechanics, since both heavily rely on those things, and it forces you to get better at them. So, if you're struggling against Grasshopper guy, you're probably going to struggle against everybody else, but these are the ways to get better against fighting him. Grasshopper Curse really relies on core game mechanics to actually do anything, and if you're better than whoever's using him at those, the Grasshopper Dune is gonna lose. He's the most balanced, or I guess the weakest if you want to look at it that way. Character in the game. But I'd say Kogai is still pretty cool. Anyways, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed watching, make sure to subscribe so that you're notified of any other information about JJS. Also, if you play Limits Company and you've beaten Refraction Railway 5, tell me your turn count in the comments. I personally got 55 turns by using a sinking team at the start, since I don't have a Rupture team yet, then a Bloodfiend Kurokumo hybrid for Section 2, with that same Bloodfiend Kurokumo hybrid to finish off Section 3. Empowered Dawn's Skill 3 plus Rules of the Backstreet spamming with that one passive that gives me 2 Skill 2s really helped out a lot. Anyways, I'm Eternally, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.